Welcome to the pre-show for the Alien Invasion podcast. I'm Dave. I will be joined shortly by Brad and Anessa. And we don't usually start our shows this way, but figured get a little behind-the-scenes stuff. And also, I tweeted out that we'd be starting at 8:15, and they're running late, so I don't want to lie to anybody and not be live when we say we were live. So we're live. We're live on the internets. And doesn't this look like some terrorist cells backdrop for a demand video? It's a sleeping bag. It is a sleeping bag. Going camping later. No. It's just I'm in a basement and there's a bunch of stuff behind me. And it's better lighting. Makes it more compact. So we'll be talking about aliens, like we always do, obviously, because it's the Alien Invasion podcast. But it's our first show in about 3 weeks, so we're very excited. I'm in a new house, and Anessa is in a new state. She moved to Wisconsin, and she's living with Brad. So they are cohabitating, and I'm cohabitating with my lovely wife, Stephanie, in a new house. So lots to talk about once they get on the show. On the show. I suppose I could just kind of touch on some of the things that we will be talking about tonight. For example, the Pope saying he's set to baptize aliens or whoever. Also, Alien Nation getting a remake again, along with another Spielberg alien-related show called The Whispers, which looks pretty badass. And Brad's going to talk about UFO crash in China, villagers shocked by huge ball of fire. Great balls of fire! Fire, fire, fire! And for the Craft Corner this week, we're going to talk about the cigar-shaped UFO. Some great picks, too. Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge. That's going to be my pick. And they did an episode called Alien Press Conference, which I'll be talking about. And Anessa's pick is Battlesuit Runner Fitness, which I have no idea what it's all about. But I'm sure that she will be telling us. And that's going to be our show. That's going to be our show. And I got a full cup of TARDIS. No, my TARDIS runneth over with coffee. So did you guys miss us? Did you miss us? Hope so. I hope so. Hope you're all great. Hope you're all fine and dandy where you are in the world. Windstorm. Oh, I should talk about the place I live in. It's a new 3-story duplexy type of townhouse thing. And this is the basement, and there's absolutely nothing down here except for boxes, a washer and dryer, a water heater, a sink. Next to it is a mop and a bucket. There's an electric circuit box around the corner. Here, I'll show you. There's the basement. See that glary light right there? Yeah, this is why. One of the reasons why this is up here. Yes, indeed. Indeed. So that's the basement. Yeah, it's a really nice house. Hardwood floors. On the main level, all hardwood floors, tile Yeah, tile in the kitchen. There's a deck out back off the living room. And then upstairs there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Only 1 bathroom in this place, which kind of causes problems sometimes. We're getting used to. Hi, Anessa.
Howdy.
We're live, by the way.
I know, you said you were going live.
Okay, just making sure.
I pay attention.
Making sure the people know that you're live.
Okay. I don't think Brad knows yet.
Okay.
So.
All right.
It's like I sat down and I was going to join, and I'm like, oh, crap, the sun's setting. And there's issues with the ceiling fan in Alex's room, which is where I'm podcasting from, and that it doesn't turn on at all. So I'm like, I'm going to be podcasting in the dark. So then we had to run around and grab a light.
Lighting's always an issue.
So I figure as long as people can see me, I don't really care how awesome the lighting is. But
yeah, exactly.
Rather than seeing like just a shadowy figure moving across the screen.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse lighting issues. I've seen worse lighting.
So
this is I showed this to the fine folks that are watching this video later. My basement. It's my basement.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's why I have this up here, because it's not only it kind of blocks everything off, but it also is great for lighting because it keeps the lighting right here.
Yeah, it probably helps with audio too.
Yeah, it does. I want to get one more on this side, but I don't know how to put it up because there's things in the way on this side.
Stay.
And then the other issue is whenever anybody walks upstairs, you hear it, or like the water heater turns on.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear that as well.
Hello.
Hey, we are live on the YouTube, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
I put out a tweet saying we're going to be live at 8:15, and Anessa said that you guys are running late, so I just figured I'd just start.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, this is kind of brings us back to the Screencast days when we were live. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Trying to remember if I turned off the stove.
Oh, I'll go check.
We're going to be eating our food on the air because it's finally ready.
All right, what'd you get? Hopefully it's some kind of like noodle-based food.
It is jambalaya, so it's got rice.
Nope, the stove is off.
Cool. I discovered how easy it was to actually make jambalaya from scratch, so I never buy the box stuff.
I thought Brad was just here.
He was making sure that I turned off the stove.
No, but I thought, oh, he just piped in. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually there.
Wireless headset.
Yeah. I'm glad that you found yours.
Me too, because I have this and then I have a little microphone, USB mic, Samsung Go mic. And I could have sworn I stuck that one in my backpack, but I had probably 5, 6 people or so in my apartment at a time, and things were going everywhere, and things that I had set to the side, just, I don't even know where half of it went. So.
We'll have to name this episode the Jambalaya Incident.
It's probably in a box named Sex Toys.
Did they actually do that?
Yes, they did.
That's funny. That is hilarious. Anessa, do me a favor. Can you talk? I'm setting levels right now.
Okay. My jambalaya is still pretty warm, so I haven't really been able to eat it. I'm waiting for it to cool off.
Cooling off period, eh?
Yes.
All right. I think we're fine and dandy with the levels.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, I got my mixer and the 2 Shure SM58 microphones and.
Sweet. So you're gonna think you'll have that stuff set up by the time we podcast next time?
Probably not.
We're working on. We were actually trying to figure out a layout for the room, and we've come up with an idea. Rather, Brad's come up with the idea of a mushroom-shaped table, and we were going to paint that table like the one-up mushroom for Super Mario Brothers, where it's got like the little green and white top and whatnot. So, except it's not going to be 8-bit, so
No.
Too many corners.
So mushroom shape because it's going to be easier to have both of you on one side. Is that?
No,
is that
it's
Well, the
gonna be-
idea is we would be over by the stem of the mushroom, and then if we have any guests for the other mics and stuff, they would have room to set up, and we can kind of spill over into the mushroom part as well.
Okay, I got it.
So they would be seated around the mushroom cap, and we would be seated at either side of the base.
Okay, sweet. That sounds like a fine and dandy plan.
So,
And I
yeah,
got
we won't have
scissor. I got the scissor arm with riser mic stands.
Cool beans. You want to see my DIY mic stand that I never got a chance to use because we were sick? Guess where this is from? This is a.
Oh, that's an old lamp.
Yeah.
Nice. That is brilliant, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's got the screw-on thingies, but not the right size. Like if it would have had the right size screw-ons, I wouldn't have had to use tape. I had to use tape.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tim Lay says hi.
Oh, hi Tim. I'm sure he's working hard at some facility in the nether regions of Michigan as we speak.
No, actually, I was in Green Bay today, which is part of the reason why I was late.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing a training for something, and Tim and Dave Bachman were talking with each other, and they're like, I was telling them about the podcast and my audio setup, and they're like, oh, you got the SM58s, huh? You know, we were just doing audio nerd stuff, which I'm, now that I'm starting to get into, I'm starting to understand a little bit more of, some of the things that they're throwing at me of tweaks and adjustments and so on and so forth. And he's like, so what's Dave doing now? I'm like, well, he's married and he's in Canada. And he's like, holy crap, tell him I say hi. I'm like, all right.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, tell them hi the next time that you see them from me.
I will do so.
All right. I think we can start. Good thing that you guys are eating that type of food. If it was like fried chicken or something like that, you might have issues.
Crunch.
Yeah, no, jambalaya just seemed like the thing to cook. And I figured as long as we could shove it in a bowl and sit in front of the camera and eat it, it's nothing that requires multiple things. Like,
Since we haven't started the show and it's kind of related, and because we are talking, whatever, I'm done introing. When we get the audio setup that we're looking to do, right?
Mhm.
And we're doing a Google Hangout. Because the audio would be set to one of our accounts, so let's say, for example, it's set to mine, when Anessa talks, even if we had like multiple cameras set up, which we can do, if she were to talk and the audio is routed through my computer, it would come to my camera, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay.
So maybe you guys make a. I don't know. I don't know what the workaround would be for that.
We'd almost just have to do a wide shot camera, which.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are ready? Let's get the ball rolling here.
We should totes do that, yo.
All right. Here we go. Oh, we're already recording. Don't got to worry about that. So audio is rolling. So here we go.
Bam.
Let me close Google Plus. All right. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2014. Welcome to another Galactic Netcast. This is the Alien Invasion number 104 in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm Dave Nelson. Joining me as always is Brad Ludwig from Wausau, Wisconsin. Also Anessa, oh my God, I'm in Wisconsin, Moines. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
We're doing very well.
Welcome back. We have tales to tell. It's been a couple of weeks. Anessa's in a new state. I'm in a new house. So you guys go first. You got the bigger story.
I don't know if I've got the bigger story. Well, I ended up having to take a couple weeks off from podcasting so I could get everything situated with the move because the deadline was looming, and with a full-time job, getting things ready is just not an easy task. Drove up over a couple of days. The weather was kind of crappy when I left. It was raining. We were waiting for it to stop hailing. It was windy pretty much all the way up until right before we got into Minnesota. Then I got into Wisconsin, or rather into Wausau, around 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday, and I was exhausted, as was Rhiannon, who helped me drive, and she had it worse than I did because she was doing energy shots and drinks, and for me that doesn't work. It just gives me a headache and makes me want to go to bed, but finally made it.
As long as you didn't have to talk to yourself to stay awake, which I had to do on the way back from New York on my first attempt to get into Canada.
No, I had walkie-talkies, and they crapped out on the first day, and Rhiannon was going bonkers by the end of the first day. And so the second day, I saw a Target in Kentucky, and I was like, ooh, plenty of time to exit because I'm in this rental truck. And we stop and we get brand new walkie-talkies, and she's able to communicate. So I had someone to talk to on the second day, and then Brad was up and excited, waiting for us to arrive, and so I talked to him, and I was bouncing between talking to him and then talking to Rhiannon. So, but I was like, at this point in my drive, I usually just find some place and take a nap. Like, I can't stay awake much longer than this. So,
Well, you made
it was
it.
exhausting.
You survived. Good job.
Woo!
Yeah, my story is I'm in a new house. That's it. We moved into a bigger house. And I have the whole basement to myself. And
Nice.
the backdrop is actually, you can kind of figure it out if you're watching this video. It is a sleeping bag. But funny thing is, it makes me look like I'm in some cave, like I'm a terrorist group making a demand from some cave in Afghanistan.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, a little bit.
Dave demands all of your Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All right, let's talk about the business that we're here to talk about, which is aliens. We talk about extraterrestrial aliens on this very podcast, which is why it's called the Alien Invasion Podcast. And we talk about them and their appearances all over the place, including film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. The show is divided into three sections: the news, the craft corner, which is our spotlight of a certain kind of alien spacecraft. Anessa, have you been here for Craft Corner yet?
I was here for the first one.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if you were or not.
Yeah, I was here for the first one, and then I was gone after that.
Okay. And then we wrap it up with our picks for the week. If you want to watch us record the show live, we do it most Wednesdays at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're about a half hour late this week, but that's all right. You can watch us later at youtube.com/galacticnetcast. One more thing before we get going here. Got to remind you of our Patreon account, a way for you to help support this here network. We want to become the biggest, most badass science fiction podcast and network on the planet, and you can help us do that with a donation of as little as $1 a month. And with that $1 a month, you become our boss. We work for you. You tell us what to do. Go to Patreon, that's patreon.com/galacticnetcasts. Again, patreon.com/galacticnetcasts. Give that $1 a month. Our goal is to raise $500 a month. Give as little as, $15, I think. $15, and you can be a host on our Sci-Fi Geeks Club podcast. So
host or guest geek?
Oh, we don't have a guest geek this week.
No, I'm saying, would they be a host or a guest geek?
Oh, they'd be a guest geek.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the guest geek is basically a host, right? I mean,
Okay.
not a host, but they're, they do as much as we do.
Co-host. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, again, $15 at patreon.com/galacticnetcast. Get you that guest slot, or just give $1 a month. That's okay as well. All right, let's get on with the show, and we begin each week with this. In the news. And Anessa will start us off this week.
I like this story that Dave presented to me. It's like, I'll take it. So I'm just going to read it as it is because it's actually really funny to me. Don't worry, Outer Space Brethren. The Pope says he's all set to baptize you.
Thank God.
The Fonz of Popes continues to operate jukeboxes with his fist. That Pope Francis, man, he's an alright dude. He eschews the wealthier trappings of being one of the most powerful people on the planet. Doesn't bother to curse to the gays to damnation. And now this. If tomorrow, for example, an expedition of Martians arrive and some of them come to us, and if one of them says, "Me, I want to be baptized," what would happen? And the answer, according to Pope Coolsville, is that we would baptize the crap out of those aliens. Actually, there's little expletives there. He doesn't care where those aliens are from. It doesn't matter what they believe or whether they come from the, quote, right kind of upbringing. This Pope takes on all comers. I'm not saying this will prevent all intergalactic war, but this will prevent all intergalactic war. You keep on keeping on, Pope Awesome the First. And that actually comes from Blaster.
Yeah, whoever wrote that story is a genius with words.
Like, I'm not even going to interpret in any way. I'm perfectly happy with what Dan Roth has written on Blaster.com.
That's a damn good article. I I almost said condemn. No, commend Dan for that. What was my favorite part?
Now I want to stop being a Lutheran and become a Catholic just so I can become Pope Awesome the First.
I know. It's like I was baptized in Catholic guilt. Maybe I should go all the way and actually become full-on Catholic.
I like Pope Coolsville, and we should baptize the bleep out of those aliens. That's awesome.
Yeah, I felt like I should actually put a word there, so put crap.
Okay, yeah, good call. Good call.
Yeah, I was like, baptize the crap out of those aliens.
All right. So thoughts, people? Let's go around the room here. Would they want to be baptized? Would the aliens want to be?
You might have an alien that is looking into our various religions and might say, "Hey, I really like this whole Christian thing, and in particular, I think the whole Catholic thing is the way to go. So how do I become Catholic?" And Pope's like, "I will baptize the crap out of you."
You know what it would be? It'd be the hats. I think that the hats would get them.
They do have really tall, impressive hats. And they've got robes.
Robes and hats.
And they're not really shouty like some of the other religions are. It's not like when I would sit in a Baptist church as a child, and then you would just hear this random shout, and you would see heads pop up along the pews because everybody's falling asleep. And that was one of the best things about sitting in the back of the church, was just seeing all the heads pop up because you could tell who had been sleeping.
I'm trying to think of why an alien would want to become a Christian, and in particular a Catholic, and I'm thinking maybe they're sick of praying to the three-headed monster gods that they pray to. Maybe.
And so for them, like, Hinduism or whatever would not be appealing because they've got so many different gods to choose from.
Yeah, plus
they're like, I just want the one guy.
Yeah. Maybe the whole heaven thing is attractive as well, because it's a possibility that when they die, they go to some place like Stovokor. The Klingons, they go to Stovokor, and all they do is like battle each other in eternity, right? Or something like that. I forget exactly how that goes.
The only thing that I would worry about is if these aliens are like the aliens from Signs, baptizing them would be the worst thing in the world you could do.
I've not seen Signs, so I don't know
It's
what
been a
happened.
while for me too. Refresh our memories.
Water would burn them horribly.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the Pope would be nice and would find another method to baptize them if water wasn't their thing.
He seems like
He's like, here, I baptize you in chicken broth.
I could
That's
see,
Although that has water, so. But maybe the salt would help, the salinity.
Or-
Who knows?
he seems like the kind of pope that would think outside the box. He's like the DIY pope.
He's
know?
like the
Well, he would
MacGyver of
just-
popes.
He would just, light some sage and be like, all right, I'll just burn it around you. That's cool. You're christened. May the power of Christ compel you.
whatever it takes.
Like exercise the demon.
I know. So may the power of Christ
Well,
compel you.
We'll baptize the aliens. I need an old priest and a young priest.
Anyways, that's an
and
awesome
some pea
story.
soup. That's all good.
I read somewhere, I didn't read somewhere, I heard some people talking about this story, and I believe that the story, his quote wasn't specific to aliens. They just, he gave that as an example. So he's basically saying he'll baptize anybody, including aliens. So he didn't set out to like specifically have this message aimed or pointed at aliens, but he's like,
But he's not discriminating.
yeah, as an example, aliens.
And that catches people's attention too, because you may have some guy go like, "Oh yeah, I'll baptize whoever," but you start including people that are not of this world, just beings, and everybody's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, he's really setting a good example. Like the right wing Christian conservative of America they should take a chapter out of his book. You know, he seems very accepting and loving to all kind of.
He's basically being what a Christian should be.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
You don't think so, Brad?
No.
All right. That does it for that story. You guys done? Discussion end now?
Yep. I think we can move on to the next story, which I'm kind of torn about.
Okay, well, it's kind of two stories in one. I found this story about the Alien Nation, the TV show, originally a movie that came out in 1988, starring, who was it again?
James Caan and Mandy Patinkin.
There you go. James Caan was the human alien, or Mandy Patinkin, Patinkin, right?
There you go.
He was the alien. They partnered up as Earth was trying to assimilate these aliens that came. So they made a TV series shortly after the 1988 movie that lasted for a few years. I believe Fox aired the show. And now there's word again that Fox is picking that baby up again and redoing the whole damn thing. And it sounds like it's going to be more of a reboot than a continuation of the original story, which is good. I think if they do a whole Battlestar Galactica angle on this, kind of retool it a little bit, I think there's enough societal things in society that we could include in the story to make it interesting in this day and age. What do you guys think? Alien Nation, new TV show, good or bad?
I didn't see the original, so I can't say.
I watched the original and I enjoyed it, and I religiously watched the television show, and the movies, the made-for-TV movies.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those, weren't there? After the series was done.
Yeah, there were a few. I love the concept. If you've seen District 9, it was kind of like taking a much darker turn. If you enjoy District 9 and you want to see something that's slightly less dismal, watch Alien Nation. It's a good film.
What they should do is kind of like meet it halfway. Find a happy medium between the original Alien Nation and District 9. Somewhere in the middle, I think, would be a great place for this reboot.
And it was just it was really a story about what it means to be human, and it didn't matter if it was. I guess it was two things: being human and how to be better than you are right now. because through the course of the shows, you come to find out that really just it's about being a good person. It doesn't mean a good human. It doesn't mean a good alien. It meant being just a good person and how to be a good person. It was a really kind of a timeless message. So it'd be interesting to see how they remake that and still kind of keep that spirit.
And like I said before, I think enough has happened since the series was on the air, like in society, that they can include like the issues that we're dealing with now, and how they would affect aliens coming to live with us and in being incorporated into our society. Don't you think?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like this is a distinct possibility that it's actually going to be happening. Let's see. There's been the TV series, TV movies, and of course, sci-fi tried to redo the series, or they tried to take it and bring it back a couple years ago, but it sounds like Fox is doing it this time. So we'll see what happens. And I also included another story about another TV series featuring aliens, and there seems to be a lot of alien TV shows, because we have Defiance, right? That's on Sci-Fi. We've got Falling Skies, which is on TNT, and now we got a show called The Whispers, which is premiering this coming season on ABC, kind of a mid-season replacement type show. It's previously known as The Visitors. The show will chronicle humanity's race against the clock to defeat an unseen alien enemy out to destroy the world, and you have to check out this trailer for it. They teased the story, or they teased the show earlier this week, and then they came out with a full-blown trailer. So the show is getting a full series run this coming year. It's being produced by Steven Spielberg, who has another show on the air right now. He's got Falling Skies on TNT. He's producer on that show as well. So basically, the aliens have invaded Earth, and they're using children to achieve world domination. Using Drill, who appears to several Washington, D.C. kids as an imaginary friend, enticing them to play very dangerous games with real consequences. There's one where the imaginary friend makes this kid tell his mom to stand in a certain spot in this treehouse, and she falls through the floor of this treehouse. And then I think there's a politician's kid who winds up having this imaginary friend and gets the code to some like military launch codes or something like that. So it sounds really, really interesting. Like the trailer focuses on the kids seeing the imaginary friends at first, but then it kind of gears up towards the end to actually the meat of the matter, which is this alien invasion and how the humans are dealing with it. So that is definitely a go, and we'll see if Alien Nation gets a full series on Fox, probably later on this year. Final thoughts on this story? Either of these?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. I'm glad they changed the name from The Visitors to Whispers, because The Visitors were on V, the TV show V, and they were called The Visitors. So
there would definitely be confusion.
Yeah, and I could see why they changed the name from The Visitors to The Whispers. I'm sure that was done on purpose. All right, so those are two series to look forward to in the future, adding to the already cluttered Alien TV show roster on the air right now. All right, Brad, bringing up the rear with a story about a UFO crash.
Yes. UFOs crash in China. Villagers shocked by huge ball of fire. This is from the Huffington Post.
Before you get started, Brad, was it a great ball of fire?
It was a huge ball of fire.
Goodness gracious.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what all the villagers were saying. Goodness gracious, that's a great ball of fire.
Had somebody hammering away on a piano and singing away and Marrying their cousin. All right. Residents of villages in the... Oh, boy.
Just skip over it. Don't try to make an attempt.
From a province in China, reported 3 UFOs fell from the sky on Friday morning. This is last Friday, according to the China News Service. The circular metallic objects crashed to the ground of 2 counties after villagers heard a huge piercing sound, and then some villagers saw a big fireball that eventually fell in a vegetable garden owned by one of the residents. I saw a huge ball of fire. I thought it was a meteorite, one villager said. ChinaTopics.com reported. I hid inside my house and waited until the object landed. China News further described the ball-shaped objects as silver gray, surrounded by jagged edges and burn marks. The object pictured in this story, which I'll pull up in just a second, is reported to be about 2.5 feet wide and weighing nearly 90 pounds, according to OpenMinds.tv. While investigators arrived on the scene of the vegetable garden to examine the object, stories began to emerge offering a possible explanation for all the excitement. According to ECNS.cn, the official English-language website of China News Service, just before the Chinese village residents witnessed the unidentified flying objects in the sky above them, a Russian Proton-M rocket carrying a communication satellite experienced engine failure shortly after its launch Friday morning, burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. While Russia maintains the rocket mostly disintegrated above Earth, China media suggests some unburned portions of the rocket accounts for those objects that crashed in the ground. The investigation in China is ongoing. And I am pulling up the picture here.
So, for those of you who are only audio subscribers, this is a
yeah, this is a good opportunity for you to check out the video portion.
Yeah, youtube.com/Galactic Netcasts. All right, go, Brad.
So here is the vegetable garden where the rows have... I mean, it's obviously been plowed, and it's been plowed into by this spherical object. You know, it kind of reminds me of a metallic cauliflower. You know how it blooms in the center, the white bit, and then the leaves around the side kind of create a halo around it?
Yep.
It's like if a cauliflower blooming in the ground and a bear trap had a baby.
Yep. Very good mashup.
And it's kind of greenish colored. It is very much charred and burned. And it's amazing that unless this has been picked up and moved, it didn't create a huge crater in the ground. So I'm kind of wondering if they just moved it.
Yeah, it had to have been picked up and moved.
Actually, no, I think you're right, because there's chunks of grass up here on portions of the bear trap halo around the metal cauliflower, as it were. But yeah.
I could see how, you know, a Chinese villager out in the middle of nowhere could mistake this for some kind of alien craft because of the little jagged edges and then the spherical shape, right? It's got an alien look to it.
Yep, but yeah, that would be scary as heck to hear those sounds and then all of a sudden something's just landed. And granted, it's a 2.5, 3 foot sphere that weighs about 90 pounds, but wow, that would still be very, very scary having objects falling from the sky towards your house. That would be very disconcerting.
Yeah, what tipped me off that this was not really an alien craft was the whole falling part, because alien crafts don't usually fall.
What if they're experiencing technical difficulties?
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
They're like trying to hover, and then something happens, and part of their system fails, and they're just like, bloop.
Or they have
Down
an alien equivalent of Gilligan behind the wheel.
It's possible.
That's gonna make.
Or maybe they just thought that this town in China was just a good place to drop by. Hey Long Jiang.
Oh,
Hey, Long
yeah.
Jiang? I don't know.
All right, interesting. We haven't had a UFO crash story for a while.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, oh, we need to have that. Absolutely.
And a good mixture of stories. We had the real life stories, and we have the pop culture media type stories. So good stuff here. Of course, we'll have
Well-rounded show in the news portion, as it were.
yeah, and we'll have the links to all these stories in the podcast feed. If you subscribe, you will have the links in your actually on the podcast that you can click on and read if you want. So there you go. That's the news. I want to go back to the Whispers again and encourage everybody out there to check out the trailer that we'll have the link to in the show notes of the podcast. Definitely, it'll freak you out. It looks really, really good. All right? Do you guys promise to watch it?
Yes.
Okay. Vanessa, hold him to it. Or Brad, hold Anessa to it.
We'll hold each other to it, and that sounds really dirty.
Oh, yeah.
All right, moving on. Moving on. Talk. Craft Corner. I still don't have an intro for this, unfortunately.
Do-do-loo. Do-do-loo-do-do.
I'm sure we can. Something off the soundboard could be the intro. Hang on. It's time for Craft Corner.
It sounds like a tugboat coming in. Boom.
It's time for Craft Corner. Aww.
Aww.
It's like DIY failure.
Okay, so Craft Corner is just basically a spotlight of a different type of alien craft in the history of. It can be either, a close encounter, something that somebody actually saw floating in the sky, or something from a movie or TV show we've watched. This time it is a supposed real-life alien craft, and it's the Cigar, a cigar-shaped UFO, a cigar-shaped UFO. And generally, the colors have been reported by witnesses as highly polished silver, brown, or metallic. The size range is tremendous, well upwards of 1,000 feet. So these are some huge craft here. Well,
So like over 3 football field lengths.
Exactly. If I saw that, I would be releasing the bowels.
Release the bowels! Sorry.
I'd be like, holy crap, stuff's about to happen. That's not going to be good. Anyways, well, it can range up to 1,000 feet. It can be a small thing or up to 1,000 feet. Smaller craft have been said to be discharged from the cigar-shaped UFOs. The big cigar objects are sometimes surrounded by great white clouds. They create plume-like wakes when accelerating rapidly or moving at high rates of speed. Gray to straw-colored in daylight, flame-colored at night. So this thing seems really badass. 1,000 feet, 3 football fields, and at night it's got flame-colored things following it. That would creep me out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, a little bit. You know something serious is going on when you see something like that.
Yeah, and then add on top of it a noise. That would be the worst. Like a like this, the Inception sound. If you saw that, big size, the flame coming out, and that sound.
Commence the pooping!
I'd be reaching for my camera.
You think that you'd keep cool, Anessa, if you saw something like that in the sky?
Yeah, she would.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I say this after having slid into oncoming traffic in really icy conditions.
Oh.
And seeing like this 18-wheeler come overhead, and I'm just like, oh, so this is how I'm going to go. So what is it I'm supposed to not do? Jerk the wheel? Okay, cool. I'll just slightly nudge it. So I think if I can keep my cool in that situation, then I can keep my cool with giant spacecraft in the sky.
Just make sure, Anessa, that you are shooting in landscape, not portrait, okay?
I will shoot at whichever angle gives me the best view.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
People complain, but it's whatever I can get in the frame.
Yeah, exactly.
That was our prom theme.
All right, so
Oh, yeah.
there's more on this. Cigar-shaped UFOs are generally totally silent, so there goes that whole noise thing. While in stationary position or while maneuvering. Many have been reported with a row of lights or portholes along their length. Famous cigar-shaped UFO sightings include 1948 over Japan. Radar of a F-61 Black Widow detected a target below the aircraft. While the aircrew tried to intercept it, the pilot saw the object, which appeared as a stubby cigar. Then the object accelerated and disappeared. 1967, near Falcon Lake in Whiteshell Provincial Park in Manitoba, a man is reported to have been burned by the exhaust of a landed cigar-shaped object. And in 1996, in Bovina, Texas, is that how it's pronounced, Anessa? Bovina?
I've never been there before.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot Texas is big. You don't know every single thing.
It's huge! I've not noticed Bovina.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's like bovine, but Bovina.
Bovina? Yeah, probably
Bovina.
Bovina. Yeah. In 1996, a 300 to 400 foot long cigar-shaped UFO with rotating strobe lights followed an America West Boeing 757 aircraft. Holy crap, there's a lot going on there. So there you go. That's our Craft Corner Craft of the Week, a cigar-shaped UFO.
Oh, okay. I know where Bovina is. Bovina. I may have driven through there way back in the day.
Bovina,
But,
Bovina.
well, because it's southwest of Amarillo, near Clovis, New Mexico.
Okay.
So if we were going from Amarillo down to Roswell, then I would have driven through it.
Wait a second. Have you been to Roswell?
Oh, yeah, several times.
Okay. I don't think we've discussed this because I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there a few times because growing up, my dad was really big into the road trip thing, and my parents really love the Southwest, and so we would go to New Mexico and Arizona quite a bit, and occasionally Nevada and Roswell. We went there a couple of times.
So did you ever go for the UFO festival in July?
No, we didn't actually make it to the UFO festival. I think we always ended up showing up there a few weeks later, but it was still pretty cool, and I ended up, the last time I was there was probably my freshman year in high school or sophomore year, and I ended up getting this really cool spoon ring, which it's at my mom's house. But one end it has like the UFO, and it's got little rays of light beaming down, and then it wraps around your finger, and the other end is a little extraterrestrial being, and then it's got various symbols all the way around it.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, I actually ended up losing that ring for a good 5 years, and I thought it was gone for good, and then my mom randomly found it. And I'm like, yeah!
Did you notice the street lights, the lamps for the street lights in Roswell? They're alien faces.
It's been so long since I've been there. Like, it's since my freshman year, so probably like 18 years ago.
Wow. All right.
They did have these really cool recycled alien-looking things at one point, made out of like CDs and trash bags and various things when I went. So kind of.
I highly recommend a trip to Roswell if you get a chance. It's not just for you don't have to go there for the UFO festival, which is the anniversary of the 1947 supposed crash at Roswell, but just go there because they've got neat little stores. They've got the crash down cafe that was made.
And you can buy dirt from quote near the crash site for about $10.
Yeah. And there's the museum. You can go through the museum. So, yeah, it's definitely a cool tourist destination, Roswell, New Mexico. Just
watch what colors you wear in the mall. The last time I was there, they had a sign saying that you couldn't wear certain color combos, so apparently they have a little bit of a gang issue there.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
So.
Right. Another heads up. Thanks, Anessa.
It might have changed. It's been a while.
Public service announcement. All right, let's move on to our picks. Brad, you're up first. I don't see one here. Do you have one?
That's because I'm awesome.
Brad chooses himself.
Secretly, I'm an alien. As I
That would
pull
be
off
that
my
would the
mask.
most that would be the most awesome thing ever. We would video.
Ah.
Sitting
Hey,
here going,
Anessa,
shouldn't be
you've got
scared.
Battlesuit Runner fitness. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, so I downloaded this app and I didn't really get a chance to use it like a ton, but I did discover that it's available for Android. So yay. And they have a free version on iTunes and then they have a paid version. But if you're familiar with the fitness apps where you're basically running and dodging zombies, it's kind of the same thing but with aliens.
Oh, neat.
And initially, whenever you start, the first mission is basically getting your suit, your battle suit, calibrated. And they let you know when it is you're supposed to run by giving you certain cues, which I think it's battle suit charged, and then you take off running, and then it'll tell you to like go left, and it'll shoot lasers. It'll charge your lasers as you're jogging or walking. You can walk too. You don't have to run. And it'll shoot at various things. And as you progress through different levels, then you can actually upgrade your battle suit so that way if you get hit, you take up a lot less, or you get a lot less damage as you get hit. And you get various add-ons and features that you can get as you progress through the fitness thing. So it says to choose a playlist, but at least for the first episode or the first mission, which is about 30 minutes long, you don't really get to listen to that playlist. It's mainly their background music and people with really bad accents talking. And basically telling you the background about how there are these xenopods that have landed on Earth, and they are basically trying to get iridium? I forget which element they're here for. And so you've got like the latest model of suit, and they're testing it out, and they're talking about like the history and getting things calibrated and whatnot. But as you progress, then you actually come across some of these aliens, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So
You don't have to start over every time, right? The story continues.
no, it progresses. You've got various missions, so you don't have to go through the same orientation each time. It'll just pick up like on the next mission, essentially. So.
What's it called again?
Battlesuit Runner Fitness.
And is it available just on iOS or is it Android as well?
Dave wasn't listening.
I'm sorry.
No, it's available at both iTunes and Android.
Okay.
I don't know if it's available for Windows, because I only know like one person with a Windows phone. Two people.
Not.
But they do have it for Android and for iTunes, so it's not an iOS-specific app.
Okay. Cool. So Battlesuit Runner Fitness sounds interesting.
Yep.
I like the fact that you can just walk if you want.
Yeah, because whenever I tried it out, I'm like, I don't feel like running. It's been like 2 months since I've done any bit of jogging. I'm just going to walk. And so they're like, okay, keep up that pace. And I'm like casually walking around the neighborhood, like, okay, I could totally keep up this pace. And then they're like, okay, whenever we tell you to, like, run faster. And I'm like, okay, I'll walk slightly faster.
I'm just thinking about, real life. If that was happening, you probably wouldn't be walking. You'd probably be running or walking.
No, that would go into the rule number 1 of cardio for the zombie apocalypse. I'm pretty sure that applies for alien invasions.
Okay. Awesome. We'll put this in the show notes of the podcast, and you, dear listener, can check out Battlesuit Runner Fitness, where you're running away from aliens who have landed and they're after you.
There's also a YouTube video if they want to watch and learn more about the fitness app as well.
Okay. Awesome. So Brad, do you need some more time?
No, actually. I remembered what I wanted to talk about. And what I wanted to talk about, which is my pick, is the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer. I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy, the new trailer that was released, the full movie trailer. And we've if people have seen this, and I'll post a link to a page on Mashable, which actually has the full trailer if people haven't seen it already. But there's one thing that I noticed, and somebody else has kind of confirmed that for those who have seen, I'm sorry, I'm doing two things at once, and it's making this bit here really crappy. Okay, so they finally released the full trailer, and now we get to hear Groot's voice, which is being done by Vin Diesel. We've now gotten to see Rocket Raccoon, who is being voiced by Bradley Cooper, and we know that for a fact from interviews that Chris Pratt's character, Peter Quill, is half alien, half human. So we've got all these different aliens, but the one thing that is related, but people might not have noticed, is in the scene at the end of Thor 2, The Dark World. I'm going to pull up my screen here real quick. At the very beginning of the scene where we meet the Collector, who ties, they hand off the baton from Thor: The Dark World to the next movie, which sort of was Guardians of the Galaxy. We see this cocoon, and if you're looking at the video of this, you see this sort of cocoon in a case.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character called Adam Warlock, who, when he was like heavily damaged and or hurt, he slipped into a protective cocoon. It would form around him. And there's a lot of speculation that this could be an alien, and Adam Warlock is a kind of a magical alien, as it were. He's sort of a superhero that kind of gets to be reborn, and he's kind of significant at a cosmic level. And the cocoon, people are saying, and I were to lay money on this, that we'll be seeing an Adam Warlock appearance at some point in this scene in Thor 2: The Dark World is going to be where everybody points to eventually and goes, yep, it was teased right here.
And there's at least part of the movie, part of Guardians of the Galaxy, where Peter Quill is on Asgard, right? He's stealing something from Asgard?
No, it looks like it's another planet. I don't think it is Asgard, though.
I thought for sure he was stealing the whatchamacallit from Asgard, the stuff that's been used in various movies in the Marvel.
The Tesseract?
Yeah, the Tesseract.
No, it's not the Tesseract. The thought is it's one of the gems, one of the bits to make the Infinity Gauntlet, which would end up being Thanos being named kind of the villain for the third Avengers film.
Okay.
This would be another item. And the other thing, too, that leads me to believe that if the Infinity Gauntlet is going to be involved, which it sounds very much like it's going to be, Adam Warlock is very much a part of the story of the Infinity Gauntlet, with all of these different gems, which in Thor 2: The Dark World, excuse me, oh crap, now I can't remember the name of the material that was being used. Darn it.
I have not seen Thor 2.
Oh, you need to see it, absolutely.
Help.
Crap in a hat. Now I can't remember. Malekith grabbed the. I'm sure somebody is shouting at their device right now. They're listening to it.
Podcast all the time.
It's this, you dummy! No, it's one of the items. Oh crap! But anyways, to make a long story short, they're kind of developing all the different pieces, and the thought is that the sphere that Peter Quill is stealing at the beginning, and when you watch the new full trailer that's out, that just came out, you see him later on in the movie, and he's kind of tossing this thing up and down in the air. So he gets to whatever happens, comes back into his possession. And it's believed that that item, like the Tesseract, like the primordial stuff that Malakath had, which I cannot remember the name of it, all of these are items that become a part of the gems for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay. I saw, I forget what website it was, Mashable or Blaster or IO9, one of those websites. They basically broke down the trailer into all these things. Like they identified all the different elements of the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, which I wish I had the link for, but I didn't know what your pick was going to be. So
Yeah, sorry.
no, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, other things that we're going to find out that we get to know more about if you see the trailer is a little bit more information on the mask that we see Peter Quill wear, like the circular glowing spheres where shapes where his eyes are. It looks like a gas mask, like a very technological protective gas mask, but it actually seems to form and or disappear based on his thought. So it must be somehow mentally connected to him, which is very interesting. So they've got a bunch of wonderful things in line for us for this next movie, and it is going to be way full of aliens. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Are you excited, or are you interested in going to see the new X-Men movie coming out next week, right? Or no, this week.
Yeah, I think it's the 26th. I think it comes out. Is that right?
No, it would be the 23rd.
23rd. Yep. You're right. 23rd. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. Not as much as Guardians of the Galaxy, oddly enough.
I'm with you on that. I think I realize what my stipulation is going to be for movies that I'm going to see this year, and it's all original stuff. Because I don't have all the money in the world to go to every single summer blockbuster that's coming out. So I think I'm going to go just see the original movies, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe Jupiter Ascending, which they just released another trailer for, which looks really awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen the trailer, but I saw that they have released something new.
They released it since we last spoke, since we last podcasted. They also released a full trailer for Interstellar, which looks really awesome.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We can maybe talk about that on the Sci-Fi Geeks Club, which you should also be subscribed to, listeners, because that's our other podcast we do here on the Galactic Netcast Network. So, anything more on your pick, Brad?
No, I just really we'll post a link to this Mashable article on this, and you'll be able to see the full trailer in HD. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of awesome that I highly recommend, and should really get people psyched for it. There's a lot going on. There's a cool usage of music to kind of tie emotion, kind of like emotional hooks to draw you into certain things. But the thing to remember is the Peter Quill character was kind of abducted at the age of 9 during the 80s. So some of that music from that time period is going to be showing up in this film.
There's Hooked on a Feeling played in the trailer, and what was the other song? You remember what the other song was? It was another hit from the 70s.
Oh, Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah, Spirit in the Sky. So if you like 70s rock, you'll love this trailer.
This is a good movie for you.
Yeah, solid gold 70. Okay. Let's move on and wrap things up with picks with mine, and it's a show that I don't know if either of you have watched. Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen an episode, and that the episode where they are making kind of reimagining the Skeksis or making new Skeksis.
Okay, have not seen that one. seen almost every other one, I believe. We jumped in late, maybe 2 episodes in. So the episode that I wanted to talk about here as my pick was one that was called Alien Press Conference. And basically, they had to create an alien that would be at this press conference that would be explaining why they're coming to invade Earth. Or coming. No, it's not Earth. It's like their reasons for attacking this other race of aliens. I forget exactly how it goes. But the premise of Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge is basically Jim Henson's Creature Shop is trying to find the next artist, the next creator of their Muppets, their I don't know, live action. What would you call that? It's not a Muppet, but it's like in the spirit of Muppets. They've been used in movies. In fact, on this episode, they showed that guy from
Puppetry?
Puppetry. There you go.
Yeah.
Puppetry. Thank you.
Yep.
One of the big things about this episode is they showed what's his face from that sci-fi show. What's it called now?
Farscape?
Farscape, thank you. Yeah, and they really talked about Farscape a lot, and they showed one of the aliens from Farscape, and they were all in awe. They were all very impressed by that. And Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge is basically every week somebody gets eliminated. So each week it gets whittled down by one person. So I think they had 3 people left on this episode. 2 or
On this one, looking it up here, they had 4. It was Melissa, Ben, Jake, and Robert.
Okay. So basically they had to create their own alien, and they always have to have a backstory for whatever it is they create for the week. And each of their creatures had a different backstory, and each of them had their own little speech that they made at this alien press conference. It was really cool. So I highly recommend that you check out Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, and we will have a link to the Amazon page where you can watch it via Amazon, and another way that you can help Galactic Netcasts out financially by enjoying some entertainment, and at the same time a little percentage of that comes our way as well. So yeah, those are our picks. We had Battlesuit Runner Fitness. We had Brad's trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy and Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge episode Alien Press Conference. And that's going to do it, I believe. You guys think we did a good job this week? Are you satisfied with what we did?
I felt a little rusty.
It's been a few weeks. But we're back on the horse. I think we're by next week, or maybe the week after, we'll be at our optimum, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And man, do I look forward to building our podcast table so we can have high-quality audio here at the Nerdatorium Studios.
Yeah, you guys are definitely going to be building a pretty badass studio, it sounds like.
I actually talked to some radio folk about the setup that we're putting together, the equipment that I picked up, and they're like, we're going to come to your house and steal your stuff and swap it out with some of the stuff.
Yeah,
we have.
but we're trading our mics and stuff for your stuff, so just so you know.
So we're looking forward to seeing that setup here in the very near future. All right, guys. Before we get out of here, don't forget you can subscribe to this podcast and our other podcasts by going to galacticnetcast.com/subscribe, or search for us on iTunes, or search for us on Twitter. If you're doing the iTunes route, make sure that you leave some kind of review and give us 5 stars, hopefully, if you like us good enough for that. We'd appreciate it, because the more reviews and the more ratings that we get that show up on iTunes, the more subscribers we get, so that always helps. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. We're all on there. And if you want to leave us a voicemail or leave us feedback, period, our voicemail number is 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966, or galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. is our email address. So, before we wrap up the Alien Invasion number 104, final thoughts? Brad.
If I haven't said it before, I need to say it again, that, and of course now when I want to, there we go, Guardians of the Galaxy, while it is our, even though it is our summer movie draft pick, and for those of you that don't watch the Sci-Fi Geeks Club, you might not know about this, but you might want to check that out. Even though that's Anessa and my pick for our team, I'm not being biased when I say it's an awesome looking film, and really looking forward to seeing that.
All right, good final thought. And Anessa, what do you got?
They have chipmunks in Wisconsin.
We totally have chipmunks in our neighborhood too. I saw
We
one.
don't have chipmunks in Texas. At least not where I live. We have ground squirrels. We have squirrels, but not chipmunks.
Do you have black squirrels? There's
I've
black
not seen
squirrels.
black squirrels.
Black squirrels. It freaks me out every time. They look like bats with feet.
No, we just have your traditional squirrels with the big fluffy tail. UNT had an albino squirrel, but you know that's kind of easy for hawks to pinpoint and eat. So
Survival rate is not very high with albino squirrels, I'm guessing.
no,
Not so much.
All
we
right.
did have an albino squirrel society, but then it got eaten.
On that note, that's going to do it for this Alien Invasion podcast. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.